Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all well and I certainly hope that you are all blessed. Now, if this is your first time passing by, through my channel, to be honest, you might want to make this your second home because ask the rest of my subscribers, I'm sure they can concur that things are getting good around here. But nonetheless, today I'd like to actually share with you how I started off with my natural hair care journey, also how I failed miserably at my first attempt. But let me not talk too much right now. Let's get straight into the video. So if you had, watched my Get to Know Me tag, that was my initial YouTube video, you would have known that I am very passionate about natural hair. So what happened was that in 2015, I was just merely doing research. At the time, I was still in school in grade 10. And so I noticed how, more and more Black women were starting to embrace their natural tresses. And I felt like, you know what, I can't be left out on this one. Especially, knowing that I had to relax my hair almost every 3 months. And the heat damage, I won't even talk about the heat damage that I suffered, but I had very dry, limp, brittle hair that, I couldn't even make a proper bun. I was so ashamed. So nonetheless, I informed myself with, the whole natural hair thing. And it was actually a thing, hey? It was actually a thing. And so what happened was in 2016, that's where I began to transition. That was in November of 2016. I felt like I couldn't do the big chop, straight away because the shape of my head is like very weird. I've got a long face. So I thought, how would it be that I'm in school and people are going to see how, they might just laugh at me. And so, yeah, I waited. Like I had said, I waited until 2017. I was in matric at the time, and what was happening was that I had more time to actually, watch YouTube videos in as much as I know I'm supposed to be studying, but I created time because I was more serious, with this whole natural hair care thing. So however, I had so much knowledge, but I didn't know how to apply it, which led to me actually, it was in June, yeah, May, June, when we started our exams. I started doing the mini twists because it was convenient for me at the time. So I started spritzing with some water and some oil and then sealing that in with Ugandan shea butter. I remember, I used to trouble my grandfather to buy me all sorts of hair care products. I was a product junkie, believe me. I don't know how many hundreds or it could have even gone into the thousands that we spent on hair care products because everything I saw, I was intrigued and I was like, hey, this is for natural hair. I'm going to do this right now. So with that said, having these natural twists, or should I say transitioning twists in my hair, I neglected my hair. Yes, I ditched the comb as what, some of the YouTubers said. I started finger detangling in order to shed, or not shed, but to lose much less hair. I started to co-wash, so I wasn't washing as often as I used to, and I ditched the sulfate, shampoo, started washing with conditioner, which is the co-wash. But then on this day, I even minimized on the heat. Believe me, I minimized on the heat. And it was the 29th of July where I don't know what made me do this, but I done it in any case. I went down to one of the local ladies and I asked her to blow out my hair. I couldn't understand why I did that. Anyway, in going there, she washed my hair first and we discovered that my hair was matted. My hair was completely matted, in the inside. So it started to feel like dreadlocks. And so she looked at me like, Taryn, if I'm to be blowing your hair, I have to comb out, your knots, or should I say your dreadlocks, because the blow brush was not going to pass through that hair. To cut a long story short, I had to make a decision now. I was in between a rock and a hard place. Am I going to drop, my principles now that I've just developed by not using a comb? Am I going to start using a comb and see that my already little bit of hair on my head, just get combed out like that, or what? And so eventually I thought, okay, I came all this way. I'm not going to waste, my time. I could have been studying, for heaven's sake. So let's just use the comb. Oh, she started combing, and she wasn't easy on my head, I must say. She wasn't easy on the head. She was trying her best, but combing really, hard in my opinion. It got to a point where I actually started, like whining. I was whining like, ah. And imagine a whole 17-year-old crying almost because of combing hair. And so eventually we got out those knots. I think she had to cut some out because it was just that bad. We blew my hair and she gave me a nice trim, so I was looking fresh that evening. And I came to show my family members, and they were like, wow, this looks good. It was like a new style altogether. So that was a Saturday. So on the Monday, I went to school. Everyone saw me and they were like, wow, this hairstyle suits you. And I was like, oh, but you know what? I actually, let myself down because I didn't want to cut my hair. I didn't even want to blow my hair, but it just got to that point and I began to embrace it. So to make up for me being guilty, I was feeling really guilty. I ditched all my hair foods that contained mineral oils, contained the petroleum and, anything that was artificial. In other words, I threw it away and I started, using olive oil. I started using coconut oil, but to my surprise, these oils were just plucked onto my kanda because I didn't know that, there's things like hair typing and that I should actually know my hair type, my curl pattern, and that sort of thing. So I was oblivious to the fact that I am actually low porosity. And wow, the oils were sitting and I couldn't understand why, but nonetheless I continued that way, and to a certain extent I neglected my hair again because I was writing my exams and school was just doing the most for me at the time. Fast forward to life after my matric farewell, and I think I was going through a phase whereby I just felt that I was desperate for change. And the first thing that came to mind was that I have to cut my hair. And I did exactly that. I went back to the same lady. Oh, she's a sweet lady, by the way. I went back to her and I asked her if she could kindly, do me this favor. I need change in my life and I'm going to cut my hair today. And so she was like, are you sure? I thought you would want your hair to grow. And I was like, no, please do me this favor. Let's cut this hair. And she did. And so I started to embrace my hair. I'll actually drop a picture of what I looked like, it was like a month after my haircut. I didn't want to show people what I looked like. So I was wearing hats most of the time. But inside, I really felt proud of myself for doing this. Life after school, you have the freedom to do whatever you like. That was me. And so I actually went up a notch and I dyed my hair with henna, by the way. I dyed my hair with henna, and this was like an indigo color, so when I would go into the sun it would actually look purple. So those were one of my things that really made me proud of being a natural, and had more time and Wi-Fi to do research, and I learned how to take care of my hair. So what I did, I done research on the porosity test until I eventually conducted the porosity test, of which now I'm aware of that I'm a type AB low porosity natural. I've got thin low porosity hair. So what that simply means is that because my hair is low porosity, I my hair cannot absorb moisture efficiently. I have to help it absorb the moisture. Also, I have to apply heat. Indirectly or directly, it doesn't really matter because my hair type doesn't get affected too much due to heat, but I don't use heat on my hair. So I done a whole lot of things which aided to the betterment, to my hair care regimen. So that brings me to this point. I developed a better hair care routine whereby I will explain in depth my wash day routine, what I do, my deep conditioning routine, my moisturizing routine. I started doing this religiously, meaning every 2 days I would re-moisturize my hair. It's just that my hair is quite dry at the moment. Uh, I've had a tough week, but that's not anything to worry about. So I didn't actually, pay too much attention to my hair, but I will. After this video, I will definitely do so. I also included, hot oil treatments, and all of that I'll do in separate videos as time goes on. Hope that you liked my video. If you did like my video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and let's just be one big happy family. And yeah, you can comment in the comment section down below how you liked my video, and shalom.